It was a Thursday evening, one of those calm golden hours when the sun dips just low enough to cast long, stretched shadows across the wooden floorboards. My room, usually a mess of half-finished sketches, open notebooks, and tangled charging cables, looked unusually serene in that light. I sat by my desk, trying to focus on an essay I had no passion for, some boring analysis of a novel I barely understood. My phone buzzed beside me. A message from Jake. Something about a last-minute meetup at the park. I sighed, ignoring it. The truth was, I hadn't felt like meeting anyone in days. Lately everything felt off: school, home, even myself. I couldn't explain it. Just a heavy sort of silence that hung around me like a fog. I was lost in thought, my fingers drumming against the desk, when I heard the faint sound of footsteps in the hallway. Then the creak of the doorknob. I turned, expecting it to be Mom with laundry or maybe a reminder about dinner. But it wasn't. My dad, Mark, stood there in the doorway. He was wearing his old worn-out jeans and a plain blue t-shirt with a faded logo from a company that didn't exist anymore. His hair was slightly grayer than I remembered noticing, and he held something under his arm, a dusty leather-bound book. "Hey," he said simply, and blinked. "Hey, everything okay?" He nodded and stepped in, closing the door behind him gently. "Found something in the garage. Thought you might want to see it." He walked over and sat down on the edge of my bed, brushing off a few sketch papers to make space. I followed his eyes to the object in his hands. It wasn't a book after all. It was an old photo album. One I hadn't seen in years. Curious, I got up from my chair and joined him. He opened the first page, and there it was. A picture of me as a toddler, barely 2 years old, gripping a stuffed bear with one eye missing. Dad chuckled softly. "You used to drag that thing everywhere," he said. I smiled despite myself. "I don't even remember it." "You wouldn't. You cried for 3 days straight when we left it in a motel once." I laughed a little more freely now. "Seriously? Dead serious. Your mom and I had to turn around and drive 2 hours back. We nearly missed the wedding we were headed to." I shook my head. "Sounds like me." Page after page, we flipped through moments frozen in time. First steps, family road trips, messy birthday cakes, Halloween spent in cheap costumes, pictures of Mom smiling, always behind the camera, and Dad trying to look tough but barely hiding his grin. It was strange. I hadn't thought about any of those things in ages. Somewhere between high school tests and growing up too fast, I had boxed those memories away. "You know," Dad said after a while, "you were always so curious, always asking questions about everything. Once you asked me if clouds ever got tired of floating." I laughed again, softer this time. "Did you make up an answer?" He grinned. "I told you they were made of marshmallows and only floated until someone needed hot cocoa." I looked at him, really looked at him. My dad had always been more of a quiet figure in the background of my life. Present, dependable, but rarely expressive. He was the type who fixed things without being asked. Who worked late and left early. Who gave you space when you said you needed it but was always just a room away. And now he was sitting here in my room, sharing a part of himself I hadn't seen in years. "I've been meaning to talk to you," he said suddenly. That sentence carried weight. It made the air in the room still. "About what?" I asked, cautious. He closed the album gently, placed it beside him and sighed. "About life. About how fast it goes. And about how sometimes we forget to hold on to the moments that matter." I stayed quiet, letting him continue. "I know we don't talk much. That's probably on me. I thought giving you space was the right thing. You're growing up. You need your independence. But I also realized, I don't want to miss this part of your life." I felt something shift inside me. A tension I didn't even know was there, slowly loosening. "I don't really know what I'm doing most days," I admitted. "Neither do I," he said with a smile. "Even now." We sat there for a long while, no need to fill the silence. Outside the light faded. The shadows grew longer. And something unspoken passed between us, an understanding, a quiet connection. That night, he didn't just walk into my room. He walked into my life.